Hello everyone, I hope all of you are doing well. We are going to continue with history chapter 1, that is the French Revolution. In the last video, I already introduced the chapter to all of you. We're going to do a quick recap before we move forward. We had a look at the background or the French society during the 18th century. We saw that Louis the 16th of the Bourbon Dynasty. A dynasty is a political family or just a family. So Louis the 16th of the Bourbon Dynasty came to the throne of France. At this time, France was already facing financial problems because France had helped the 13 American colonies get independence from Britain. In order to get this money, people are going to be taxed a lot. And in general, people are very poor, so they're not going to be very happy with the taxes. Then we had a look at how there were 3 estates in France, or how the society was divided. The first estate, the second estate, and the third estate. The first estate was the clergy or the church. The second estate was the nobility or the ruling class. And the third estate was the common ordinary people. Now, it's people from the third estate. Some of them are going to be peasants, and they're going to be poor and uneducated mostly. But a lot of the people from third estate will become traders and merchants, and they will get educated. They will become lawyers, doctors, teachers, and they will become very aware. And these aware people are the ones who then start questioning the first and the second estate, and they say, no, we want a proper government which does not exploit us so much. So with all this background happening, we then also saw how France is facing more crisis because, like I told you, it doesn't have a lot of, its treasury is empty because it's low on its financial resources, but also the crops fail, there's bad weather. This leads to an increase in prices. Remember, when the demand is high, this is a basic law of economics. So when the demand is high, but the supply is low, prices will increase, and vice versa. So when the supply is a lot but demand is less, the price will go down. So what's happening in France is demand is a lot. People want to eat, they want food, but supply is less because there is no food. So whatever there is, the prices will rise, things will become very expensive. So people are going to start dying because they can't afford this food and they have nothing to eat. This came to be known as the subsistence crisis. Subsistence crisis is when people face problems for basic essential necessities like food. And very basic food, okay? Not some fancy food. In fact, yeah. So anyway, in between all this, we then also saw how the middle class, the educated middle class, which had money, got inspired by people like Rousseau, who spoke about social contract. In social contract, Rousseau said that there should be an arrangement between the people and the representatives, and the representatives should then be accountable to the people, run the government in a proper manner. They then also got inspired by Montesquieu. Montesquieu wrote about division of the branches of government. He said that the legislature, the one who makes the laws, the executive, the one which implements the laws, and the judiciary, the one which gives justice, should be separate bodies. They should not all be under one person or under one king. Now, keeping all these problems in mind, let's have a look at the outbreak of the revolution. Now, the king calls. Now, the king, when he wanted to increase the taxes, he had to call a meeting of all the 3 estates. Let's imagine this meeting of people to be like a parliament. So in India today, the parliament where we have representatives, that parliament is called a parliament only, with Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha as its houses. In France, let's imagine this parliament to be called Estates General. All right. So the king calls a meeting of this Estate General, which was a political body. And in this Estate General, people from all the 3 estates came to represent themselves, and they would then discuss matters. And the matter which was going to be discussed would be a proposal of new taxes. Now, King Louis called a meeting on 5th May 1789, and he said that we should increase taxes. Now remember, the First Estate will agree to this because the church would have definitely used the money for its own purposes, materialistic purposes. The Second Estate would have agreed to it because they're the rich ruling class and they would like the money. The Third Estate would not want to agree to it because the problem in France was all the taxes were only being paid by the Third Estate, but they were being enjoyed by everyone. So the Third Estate is not going to be very happy. Now the thing is, when such a thing is being discussed, a voting will happen as to whether it should become a law or not. Similar thing happens today in all parliaments also, even in India. Excuse me. So now when voting happens, each estate had only one vote. So one vote from First Estate, one vote from Second Estate, one vote from Third Estate, whatever, it can be yes or no, but one vote for each estate. The Third Estate is not very happy with this idea. The reason is because the Third Estate is the largest. The number of members who came from each estate were 300 came from First Estate, 300 came from Second Estate, but 600 came from the Third Estate. But how many votes does each estate get? Only one. So the vote is not according to the members who are coming. The vote is only for each separate estate. Now the Third Estate says, we don't like this. We want that votes should happen on the basis of number of members. If voting started happening on the basis of number of members, then which estate had the highest number of members? The Third Estate, because they had 600 members. So then, if voting was ever done on a certain law, if the First and Second Estate wanted it passed, the Third Estate could prevent that because the Third Estate had the highest number of members. So First Estate would only have 300 votes, the Second Estate would have only 300 votes, but the Third Estate would then have 600 votes. So when the Third Estate gives such a proposal before voting, the First and Second Estate are not very pleased with this. And so the Third Estate, the people of the Third Estate walk out of the Estates General where the meeting is happening. They walk away very angrily and they say that they will draft a constitution for France and they will see that they are governed properly. They will see that they are not exploited anymore by the First and the Second Estate. This Third Estate, which walked out very angrily, then went on to a tennis court and they took an oath there. They formed their own parliament called the National Assembly, and this oath that they took there was called the Tennis Court Oath because it's taken in a tennis court. In this oath, they decided that they will limit the powers of the monarchy, which is the Second Estate, and they will see how the people are being governed, and they will not let the church take so many taxes from the people, and they will take the land away from the church, which is the First Estate. In between all this, in between this Third Estate getting angry and walking out, forming National Assembly, taking a tennis court oath, we see that Subsistence Crisis is at its peak, and there is a rumor that the king and its people are going to arrest everyone, and there are going to be a lot of problems, and prices of bread are very high, people are hungry, people are angry. So they start rioting, they start looting shops, the common people, the Third Estate. The Third Estate at this time also goes and storms a prison called the Bastille. This is a very important event because the Bastille barely had 7 prisoners at that time. But it's symbolically very important because people put inside the Bastille were put in by the orders of the king. So if you go and free these prisoners, it would mean that you are defying the orders of the king or not listening to the king. And so this is the storming of the Bastille. The storming of the Bastille happens in 1789, and when these people start going and looting shops, it's the rich people are suddenly very scared, the First and the Second Estate. So this is known as the Great Fear. And these are the 2 points which will be a part of the French Revolution, which broke out in 1789. So it's like two simultaneous things happening. The third estate is doing its own thing of forming an assembly, or forming a parliament called National Assembly, trying to make a constitution. And at the same time, it's the and this is the third estate, rich and educated people. The third estate, poorer people, are looting shops, scaring everyone, storming the Bastille. This is the French Revolution. Eventually, when the National Assembly was formed, the King Louis accepted the National Assembly. He recognized it, and he also said that fine, whatever the National Assembly is saying, we will listen to them. The Assembly, what did the Assembly say? The Assembly said that they will abolish the feudal system of obligations and taxes, which means that they will not allow the first and second estate to take any more taxes from them, and they will limit the powers of the monarchy. So monarchy in France will now be called constitutional monarchy, and they confiscate or take away the land of the churches and give it to the people. Okay, we'll now continue with the rest of the revolution in the next video. Thank you.